All right, we are on. TikTok is live. YouTube is live. And we are picking up where we left off with this backpack banner wielding dude from the Dark Angels. So I am going to just tidy up a couple of bits that I was clearly lazy about last time. So we're going to get rid of a few things here on my computer to make sure we run smoothly. That's the plan anyway. But yeah, there's a couple of small bits that I missed last time with like the silver and stuff. So you're going to pick that out. It won't take long because there isn't too much more that we need to pick out before we can potentially move to a next step. Now I think we're going to go for a little gold outline on the banner. It kind of goes in line with the vibe of this mini. Lots of gold accents. That's what we're going to do. I've decided. And for that we are going to use Necro Gold from Scale 75. Bloody good paint. Highly recommend. So we're going to have to almost treat it like an edge highlight. Use the side of the brush where we can. And then try and pick it out. Make sure it doesn't get on the areas that we don't want it. Which is easier said than done. The O. How do you paint so precisely? Just practice, mate. Lots and lots of practice. That's all it comes down to. Just getting your reps in. I've been painting for a number of years. If you're talking about this insignia, that's cheating. We used a decal water slide last night on the stream. So I did not freehand paint that. It's just like a little tattoo that you put on. If you're talking about the chest piece, yeah, just practice, mate. That's all it is. Brush control. That's what you got to practice. Just like that. I didn't get out on the lines. I just hit the raised area just where I wanted in a couple of strokes. That just comes with practice. Moony Mood. You give them so much life. I hope I can get to this skill when I paint my Grey Knights. You will get there, my friend. Just paint and paint and paint. I bet you're excited for the new Grey Knight box set if you collect Grey Knights. The one that they just released. Shame they haven't given the models an upgrade yet though. I feel like they're well overdue. easiest way to try and do this is to twist the model so I can get it in a way where I'm pulling the paintbrush towards me. I find that to be the most comfortable and also probably the easiest way to paint areas that are quite tricky, especially straight lines. You don't want to be pushing the brush away from you. I feel like that's where you make mistakes. And pretty happy with how that gold border's turned out. We're not going to go anything too crazy. I'm not sure what my client has in mind, but I think something basic like this is nice regardless. Kind of ties in. They might want to do a little bit of freehand later on, but we can always maybe do that later. Max, yay Dark Angels. Yay indeed. Lim, what's up brother? How are you my friend? Good to see ya. And for the guys over on YouTube, if you're wondering who I'm talking to, I'm talking to your fellow hobbyists over on TikTok who are watching at the same time. Maximian, I love doing Sabrina Carpenter's Have You Tried This One poses with my painting handle and model. That's it. Upside down, angled sideways to get a part painted. Exactly right. It's literally like, what is it? Contortionist activities with my hand. Okay, so that's done. All we need to do here before we move on to the wash step is pick out his little chain. I know you can paint it bead colors, but I'm going to keep the palette kind of minimal here, so I'm going to use silver. Don't want to add too many different colors on this guy. So for the silver, just using plate armor from Two Thin Coats if it wants to come out of its paint pot. Any day now would be great. Thanks, mate. Like it's getting clogged. Damn. Mooney Mood. Gold border turned out great. Thank you. And am I using Citadel paints? I use a mix. For that gold, we were using Necro Gold from Scale 75. But I use plenty of different paints. Citadel, AK Interactive, Scale 75, Pro Acryl, Vallejo. I've got them all because they all have a place, I think. In Kid Jais, how long have I been doing this for? I've been doing this for a number of years, painting in the hobby. And this dude, I think we've been painting him, if that's your question, how long we've been painting this guy up for. Maybe he's made an appearance on a couple of other streams. But in total, probably a few hours when I'm streaming. Because it takes a lot longer to paint when you're streaming rather than doing it by yourself. Because I got to make sure that you guys can see what I'm doing. And then also I've got an audience. I've got to talk to you guys too, which is fun. But then I end up not getting a lot of painting done. So this is what we're going to end up looking like with the model. These are the 4 dudes that we've painted up previously on stream. Nevin, how are you, my friend? What's happening? So yeah, this is what we're going to end up like. Just there. Nevin, have I kept painting since yesterday? Not really, mate. I didn't really have a chance. When did I go live? Yesterday. That was in the evening, I think. And I've just been working today and doing other stuff. So Yeah, I haven't had a chance. I literally just hopped on like 10 minutes ago. Yes, not much hobby time these days, which is not great. Wish we had more. Pretty sick. Have you played Space Marines? The video game? I have. I haven't finished it. I played it for a little bit, but I got distracted and never jumped back in. So maybe I have to do that at one point. Pick it up again. So we've done that little bit of silver there. He's pretty much ready, I would say, for a wash, I think. So why don't we go ahead and do that? Just doing it a once over to make sure I'm not missing any spots before I do the wash. I think that's decent, because then we can pick out the highlights later on. And if you notice from yesterday, we put on the decal fix. You can kind of see it's kind of made the banner a little bit shiny, which is not what we want, like the cloth material, just because it's got like gloss particles. But I'm hoping once we put the wash on, it might tie it all together in terms of the shine. So that's what we're going to aim to do with our streaking dry wash. And if not, we can fix it up later. Nevin over on YouTube, is the red on the banner different from the red on the armor? It is, because this is a decal, so it's printed in that color, and we just used corn red for the red on the armor. I could, if I wanted to, paint over that and try and tie it all in together, but I mean, colors on cloth in real life are different to, you know, a color on ceramic or metal, so it does look a little bit out of place. But I think once we do the streaking grime wash, it will tone this red down by quite a bit. Dr. Z's, hello, do you remember me? I remember your name. I've definitely seen your face pop in the stream before. So hello, my friend. Welcome back. And coffee flavored apples. Not going to lie, slightly jealous of your painting skills. I couldn't paint the figurines, so I came up with a new chapter to compensate my lack of skills. That's all right, mate. What did you come up with in terms of a chapter to compensate? We're all ears here. So I'm going to swap over my palette because it's literally time to whip out the streaking grime. And for those of you that have come by before and seen how we do things here, streaking grime, shitty old brush, and a bit of odorless spirits, or odorless thinner white spirits. This thing here is what we want to do to thin down the streaking grime. We don't want to put it straight out of the pot because it's too thick for what we're trying to go for. So we use our little pipette thing. Oh shit, don't spray it everywhere because that shit smells like petrol. Now it's all over my hand. Oh well. Take out a little bit, pop it in our palette, and then we can get the streaking grime. Give it a good shake. Shake it, baby. Geo Vieira, you guys seen the video of the dude who mixes the kits on a faction to make a super unit? They look badass. Are you thinking of like Pete the Wargamer? He does some cool kit bashes. I'm a fan of his work. And coffee, all white with a half decent red cross. Called them the Snow Angels. Very nice. Snow Angels. I like it. It reminds me of snow angels, you know, when you lie down in the snow and wave your arms and legs up and down. So, do they have a friendly side? Is that what they do in their free time? And Jacob, hello, my friend. How are you? It's taking a bit longer here. Fiddling around with all my equipment. All right, so we've thinned our streaking gram down enough. Let's slap it on this bad boy. Literally gonna douse the whole model in this stuff. You're doing well, Jacob. That is good to hear, mate. And as am I. Going well indeed. Wish I had more time for hobbying today, but alas, I need to make money. Need to be able to pay the bills, so I had to work today. This is my trusty old shit brush. I've had this one for years. It is so good. Get your hands on one. The dollar store will be your best friend. One pack will last you ages if you're just going to use it for these purposes. Jace, I'm pouring paint thinner on your collection. Oh mate, that's fighting words. Come over here. I'll put gloss varnish all over yours. Ruin all highlights that you've placed. Noah, how are you, mate? Nevin, if I could donate, I would. That's all right, mate. Thank you. Your presence alone is very greatly appreciated. Thanks for being here and just hanging out. That's probably enough for what we want. Nice and filthy looking. We're going to let him dry for a couple of minutes, and then we can go in with our trusty old makeup removers and get rid of the excess streaking grime. I'm just cleaning up my brush while we put the palette to the side because we're not going to have any use for it just yet. So make sure that I don't ruin my desk further with excess spillage. So I thought in the interim, while old mate is drying, we could go back onto one of my other minis and I'll show you how I do some of the weathering. So this is from my nameless chapter that we've been working on. And for those of you that haven't seen just yet, my nameless chapter are these bad boys here. Heavily weathered, white, ghosty looking space marines that are all kind of rusty and battle worn and damaged. That's the vibe we're going for with these guys. Trudging on some backwater Mars desolate planet. Just like this. That's what we're aiming for. So this is what they all look like to begin with. Nice and fresh, straight off the press, straight from the Mechanicus. Haven't seen a day on the battlefield yet. Coffee, yeah, to be fair, I never, that far 14-year-old me thought it would be a badass name that they were meant to be Ultramarines. No, that's all good, mate. Actually, I showed it the other day, but your color scheme reminds me of kind of what I thought when I was like 13 or 14. I painted up for one of my friends. This dude, little squatty marine. Look, it has the red and the white. How weird. And there's your like a red little cross like you were talking about. But this is like old school painting from me back in the day. And Jacob, I have a suggestion, maybe the rattling grime on the middle of the gold so the edges would glow golden. If you're talking for about this dude, this is kind of what the streaking grime will do. It will go into the recesses, we'll go in and be able to wipe it off, and then we can get back in and highlight. Jay Ha, why they use white coats in the desert environment? Because they are proud servants of the Imperium and they fear no enemy. They want to be seen. They want to hunt you down and make you, because they don't care about it, you know, they're just going to come charging straight at you. They don't give a fuck if they blend into the environment or not. Do I have a Carcharodon? I do not, unfortunately, Kaiser. That's one I have not painted yet, but one that I will hopefully get around to at some point. So for the chipping, what we're going to do is we're going to use this paint here. It is Vallejo Game Color Charcoal. And we're going to put it on our wet palette, and we're going to use a sponge and start dabbing on some of the chips. What we want to do though is thin it down a little bit, because if you do it straight from the bottle, you'll end up with a little bit of texture because it will kind of be thick paint, which is kind of not what we want when you're trying to go for like a damaged chip look. If anything, the paint would be missing there. You don't actually want to build up texture. It will just look a little bit odd. So I'm thinning it down a little bit on the palette to help with that. What do we got here? Missed a couple more comments. Stream delay. Yeah, there is. Sorry, a stream delay. My name is Aaron, also known as Hobby Fiend online with my Warhammer journey. Give me a sec, guys. I just gotta say goodnight to my girlfriend. I'll be back in 1 second. Alrighty, I am back. Now I gotta remember to be somewhat quiet, otherwise I'm gonna get in trouble. I have a bad habit of yelling with my noise cancelling headphones on. So, yes, where were we? We were talking about the chipping effect, which is what I was gonna do. So, this ratty old piece of foam is what we're gonna use as our chipping tool. What we might do is just tear off a little bit, actually. I'm going to tear off a tiny bit of it, because I do find that sometimes using something like these little tweezers kind of help when you're controlling the foam, because sometimes when I'm trying to dab like that, it's a bit messy and doesn't always go where I want it. So if I can just like use these tweezers to kind of, I'm struggling here, to try and hold this damn piece of foam so that it, fuck, come on. Yeah, something like this. Use it to then do our chipping effect. So get a little bit of paint on that. It's probably a good idea to dab off a little bit prior to actually starting with the model. But then all we're really doing is this, tippy tapping in areas where we imagine a lot of the damage would accumulate over time. So you're thinking corners, because that's typically where wear and tear happens a lot, like on edges. And And you kind of want to do this somewhat sparingly. You don't want to go over the top, because when we do our other stages as well, it's going to be a bit much if you do too much of the chipping effect. Less is more, so they say. And I agree with that. So that is probably a little bit much. So I just give it a little lick of my finger and wipe it away if it's a bit too much. And that's fine. A little bit less reserved, less prominent, which is what we're after. You're going to be sleeping on the couch if you make noise. Yeah, it's a school night. Can't be talking too loud. Get in trouble. Hang on. There we go. That's just an apothecary. They look good. Thank you. My most expensive buy was 3 Warlord Titans and all their guns. That hurt my wallet. That does sound like it would hurt your wallet indeed. Favorite Space Marine chapter? Gosh, that is a hard question because I couldn't tell you. I think I said last night to a few people that were on was something like Blood Angels, because I do love painting red. I have a strong obsession with the color red. So maybe if I had to say Blood Angels, Black Templars, and maybe like Space Wolves, because I like all their details. And then also all the heretical side too. Khorne Berserkers, Emperor's Children. That shit's cool. Perfect. Happy with that. I think his little chipping effects are coming on well. Ooh, gave him too much chipping on his nose there. Let's get rid of that. Because we're also going to come in with the paintbrush. And that will allow us to do some of this, like, what do you call them? Like scratches effects, those like straight lines. This just gets you your, I guess, it does the groundwork for the chipping in a very short period of time, which is good. But then we can come and refine it with our chips, with our scratches. And that's kind of where we're probably up to now after a couple more dabs there. That'd be good. Alright, sorry guys, there's a few comments I've missed here on YouTube. So let me read through them now. So guess I'm here now, not complaining, just found you like 6 times. Might as well stay for a bit. Thanks V, thanks for sticking around. And if someone asks in the chat, what do I play? Yeah, I don't play much of the hobby side. For me is painting. I enjoy that very much. Yeah, I've played the game maybe like 6 times in my entire life. But my friends want me to play more, so maybe I should get into that. We are painting an unknown Space Marine at the moment, but I'm going to have to put him to the side now once we've done that step, because I forget that we have Old Mate in the corner who's been drying, and I think it is well past the time that we remove the streaking grime that we put on. And I think we might actually be in a bit of trouble here because it has dried quite fast. The dude I just had on screen is a guy in Phobos armor. I don't actually know if they have different types, but I know he's just like a Phobos armored marine. An infiltrator maybe? I think that's what they call them. So I've put some white spirits back on my little makeup remover because we have let this dry a little bit too long to be able to go in with a dry makeup remover and remove anything. So this is just going to reactivate grime in areas where it may have dried a bit too much, because you've got a real good long working time for streaking grime, given it's an enamel product, which is one of the many reasons why I love using the product. Very forgiving. What chapter do I have the most fun painting? I don't know about chapter. I would have to say like type of model. I enjoy painting Space Marines just because the way that the models are sculpted are just really nice, and I enjoy painting that. And if I want a bit more of a challenge, we'll go into like a Chaos Space Marine because you've got all the trim. So yeah, I'd say it's more like the type of model rather than a particular color. If I had to say like an actual chapter because of the color, I think the bright ones speak to me the most. So chapters like Imperial Fist, like that really bright yellow, I really dig. I love Blood Angels, obviously red can make that really striking. Good old Ultramarines with the blue. I'll show you a couple of what I've painted so far. Carson over on TikTok, do you have a favorite paint brand? No, I don't. I don't have a favorite. I use a whole bunch of different ones. I'd say like Vallejo, AK, Pro Acryl are probably up there. Scale 75, some of their paints are really good. Even the Army paints, the new ones, are looking pretty good as well. As I was talking about the striking colors for painting, so like Imperial Fist, like the yellow is just awesome. I love having that real popping yellow color on your Space Marines. I think it looks really cool. You can do some nice work with that. So I enjoy painting up those colors. Even with Ultramarines, you can get the same sort of result. Having like a nice bright blue. It looks very effective when you do like a kind of cooler gold color. And a bit of blood. Who doesn't love a little bit of blood for the blood god? But yeah, painted up for plenty of Space Marines. I might do a bit of a showcase later on if you want to stick around. But for now, we are on a bit of a time crunch because we need to get this streaking grime off before it sets too much and ruins our model, which we don't want. That would be absolutely devastating. I might have missed something here. Jacob, did you ask about streaming? When do I do it? I actually just do it ad hoc at the moment. I work full time, so I can't do it during the days, most days. So I'll come on at a night time and hop on and do some painting. And normally you can only do it for maybe an hour or two at most. I just don't really have the time, otherwise I got to get to bed and go back to work. Weekends I can stay on a little bit longer. Liking the grime? Yeah, thank you. I am happy with how he is looking. I need to get a new makeup one because the one we were just using there got super dirty, super fast. So I've just swapped it out. Bit of white spirits. And we should be pretty close to being done with the tidying up. These are well done. Thank you. I appreciate it. Do you have any Blood Angels or World Eaters? I would love to get some inspiration for future models. Adam Funk, you are in luck, my friend. I have 2 World Eaters, one in current day colors with the blood red color, and one in Gladiator Cadre colors or pre-heresy, whatever one you want to call it. I will show you in a second. think we've tidied up most of that. Streaking grime. Quite happy with how that is coming along. I might try and get a little bit under this banner here because we haven't been able to reach in there properly. Okay. Don't need to be a perfectionist. I think that's pretty good. We're going to leave that for now. I will show you the Corn Berserkers, World Eaters that I've painted up because I don't have a Blood Angel handy. So, first one. This one here was the first sort of red Corn Berserker that I painted up that I was very happy with. And this here is his brother in arms, the one that I've most recently painted and I'm probably the most proud of at the moment in terms of how that red came out. Very happy with that. And I made a tutorial on how to actually paint this. Trim hell, yes, Nevin, and I see you've got a couple of other comments in there. I'll get to those. Trim hell indeed, but it made it pretty simple because it's just one single coat of a paint mix that I made. But yeah, very happy with that. So hopefully that inspires you if you're wanting to paint red. If you've got any World Eaters that you want to go old school with, he's missing his backpack, but this is the World Eaters from the sort of pre-heresy scheme, covered in blood from the Blood God. Yeah, with his blue. His backpack was blue as well, so it's a bit more blue on the model, but yeah, very happy with this dude as well. And if you're after a tie to the Blood Angels, I've got my Flesh Terror models that I painted up, so kind of Blood Angels. They're a successor, so we can count them. A different type of red here, more of like a real deep, almost like dark cherry red, I would say. For this guy, and then this one here with his jump pack assault, what do you call it? They're not assault intercessors, are they? They're like the jump pack version. I'm having a mind blank, but yeah, whatever you call this dude. Thank you. I'm glad you guys like him. Very happy with how they turned out as well, yeah. And Nosk, over on TikTok, my dad bought the license to 3D print these, and then he painted them. This is sick. Awesome. That's so good. Yeah, I know a lot of people that 3D print as well. All these different models. Not just kind of Warhammer proxies, but like other stuff too. Good way to practice, I would imagine. Don't have to spend as much money on Warhammer stuff. Yeah, assault intercessors with jump packs. Yeah, I think sounds about right, Blake. Got any Death Watch handy? No, I don't, sorry. That's also another chapter that I haven't painted up. The closest I'd say in color wise is just this Black Templar here that I painted, given Death Watch are mainly black. So if that gives you any inspiration, dubs, maybe. For the black, but yeah, that's my little Black Templars that I was painting up a while back. When will you show the paints you used in your shorts? Asks Eternal Heresy. I don't know. It's like I don't mind answering the questions in there. I will show some of the paints, but I can't give away all the secrets, you know? Because then if people comment and ask about it, I got an opportunity to reply. No, No, I think I just get lazy, to be honest. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I need to get a video out, and then half the time I don't even remember when I'm painting with. I just paint. If we were still on the little showcase for a minute, this one here is my Raptor that I painted up. So another Space Marine. I painted lots of Space Marines. But yeah, I was particularly happy with his blue glow on his lenses. I think that was really cool. And Nevin, are you going to do the base? For the Dark Angels dudes, no, I'm not going to do bases because the client has asked to leave it unbased so they can do it themselves. And here is my contentious white Black Templar because he just wants to be unique. He is a Black Templar in white armor. Why the fuck not? Caused a lot of contention when I said that in my video, but that's alright. It was good fun. Alright, back to the painting. Yes, I do have a bunch of chapters painted. I probably have more somewhere packed away. I just don't have or know where they are somewhere. How long do I paint? How long do I spend painting a model? It varies. I will, depending on how good a quality, I could do a model in about an hour. I could spend 3 hours. I could spend 10 hours. Just depends how long and how good a paint job I really want to do. So this will want to dry for quite a bit now, so we can probably go back to old mate with the chipping. And Nevin, do I do other models other than Space Marines? I do. I've got one of this from a while back. This is when I started getting back into Warhammer a couple of years ago. I painted up this dude. Nurgle, I think you can play him in 40k and Age of Sigmar. But yeah, I was really trying to practice the skin transitions and his armor as well. That's what I was really going for on this. And yeah, happy with the result with this dude. This guy probably took me about 10 hours to paint. Necrons. I don't actually have Necrons. They were my first ever army. That's the army that got me into Warhammer, but I'm just having a look at my little kit here. I don't have any Necrons at all. I think they're back at my childhood home, packed away in some dusty old box, I think. And then in terms of another non Space Marine dude, we got this little Death Rattle skeleton that I painted up for again, Age of Sigmar, Soulblight Gravelords. Tortoise loves the Demons of Nurgle. I'm a fan too. Good old demons, or stinky boys. In terms of Nurgle, I do have one little marine here that I painted up for a little video. Just experimenting with contrast paints and rust and weathering effects too on this guy. I'm calling the one that has all the chips Mr. Chippy. Nice. This one here, Mr. Chippy, this guy. Well, he's got to run for his money because this one here, I think already has Mr. Cheeto / Mr. Twisty, because the orange smoke that I was trying to paint, someone said it looks like a Cheeto, and here in Australia it's a Twisty. So yeah, this guy's already got the title, Mr. Twisty. Alright, so back on this guy, what did we get to? We finished doing the dabbing with our sponge, which is good, which means we can move on to using our paintbrush. So same paint, that charcoal color from Vallejo. This time we're using back on our favorite paintbrush, the size 0 from Raphael. And we can just start doing some nice chipping effects, some scrapes and scratches. Make sure my paint is sufficiently watered down. So what we kind of want to do is these sorts of motions, literally just like where I think a scratch would occur. Like this. I imagine stuff probably ricochets and bounces off the ground and scratches his armor like so. You can also kind of block in a little bit more where you think there'd be more wear and tear by tipping on the edges like that. Mr. Chippy and Mr. Twisty, I like it. Old chips, no fish. That's exactly right. Man, I haven't had fish and chips in ages. It's giving me a craving saying that. Again, maybe his knee probably cops a fair bit, so I might add a couple of scratches here and there. Like that. You can add the sound effects too if you want. Here we go. Ding. There we go. I don't tend to try and spend too much time on this. You just kind of want to be fairly quick because you could spend all day here. But again, as we said, less is more overall. So we don't want... And if you always maybe add a bit too much, again, just a quick wipe and it's gone. So I didn't vibe with that one. So I'm just going to go in and maybe just do a smaller version like that. Time is 0, 0. Why all great white? Why not, mate? Why not? I think it is a good canvas to be able to do weathering effects when you do light colors like this, because this is what he's going to end up looking like. Something like this, with all the damage effects, more grime and stuff. That's what we're doing there. We're going for a grim dark effect later on. Complete detail? Nah, mate, not this time. We're not doing box art here. We're doing our own style for this mini. Yeah, I think it's quite striking on like a desert base. I think it looks cool. So again, like his hands probably get a lot of damage because he's grabbing stuff, punching things, so we kind of want to make them look quite heavily weathered. Maybe any areas that the sponge didn't get, like just here under his arm, the corners of his shoulders, of his elbows would definitely be getting chipped. So add in a couple of chips there. These corners here, a little bit behind here, probably not too much behind there because, I mean, who's going up and under his backpack? Maybe like a little snotling might go up there and try and stab into the back, but overall it's probably not going to cop a lot of damage there, I would imagine. And nice. I like these scrapey effects. That one's probably a little bit too thick, so let's wipe that away while the paint is wet. And that means I probably need to thin my paint a fraction more, because the thinner the paint, the easier it is to do these kind of thin scratches, like so. Yeah. Nevin's going to come back later. Oh, no worries, my friend. I might be streaming for maybe another 20 or so minutes, so I'll see you if you're back then. You're going to see Mr. Chippers, Sir Chippers. Very nice. Yes, this is indeed Warhammer figurines time. And what theme is this? There's few people asking what chapter. This is unknown chapter. It's one I sort of decided to paint myself. So it doesn't have a name or anything. We were taking name suggestions last time. So if you've got any good ones, drop them in the chat. Yeah, well, he sits means probably more wear on his rear armor. Blake, these servants of the Imperium have no time to sit. All they do is battle, you know. How are they going to serve the Emperor if they're sitting on their ass? They're going to be out there stomping heretics. Xenos. No time to sit around and wait. Mike, thank you, mate. Appreciate it. And NHG Jew. Damn, this looks hard. Did you prime with white, or how did you get the color? It's a bit of a mix. I started with like an off-gray color and built up with some off-white colors with the airbrush and added a bit of a grimy effect to it to get to this point, but we're still a fair way off, so more work to be done. And Q Riley Taylor, thank you very much. Appreciate the kind comment. White Ghost for a forgotten chapter name. Bro, you know it's an Aussie house with that. What is it? Flywire. What is it? Love from Melbourne. Thanks, mate. Love from Sydney over here. The Deus. Ooh, interesting. Yes, I will read out the names that we got so far. We've got, I'll add that one too. I think White Ghost might have been recommended already, actually. Let's have a look. We've got Spectral Ghosts, Night Ghosts, Tech Wraiths, White Tears, Oblivion Guards, Spectral Flames, Flesh Tears, Chad Faction, White Ghasts, and the Chapter of the Lost. Oh, the diamond door, this with the fly screen. Yeah, mate, that's classic Australia. Funny. We can put White Ghost in, Blake. I'll pop that in this name suggestion. The White Knight's kind of funny. Yeah. Yeah, Flywire, that threw me. I actually only know it as fly screen, hey. Bloody Melburnian, what do you expect? Education system down there pales in comparison to us guys up here in Sydney. Gal, sup mate, how are you? My handle broke and just bought a new one with my Grey Seer primer. With the Grey Seer primer, very nice. Shame that it broke, that sucks. But another excuse to go to the hobby shop, I think. Alrighty, so I might just add a little bit more on the helmet, just a tad, because I feel like people would want to be shooting him in the face, right? So he needs to take a little bit more damage. Up here particularly. His little like helmet vent, I think it's a good spot to be able to put a bit more chipping and like scratching effects. Like this, almost looks like shit's bounced up and scraped across it. I don't know if you can see it there, but like that. And maybe a couple more on these sides here. Like so. maybe around his collar as well. His collar, like armor bit. And a tad more down here on his chest. Ooh, and on his hand. What did we say about the hands? The hands probably get a lot of weathering because they probably get a lot of use. So we can dirty them up a little bit, like so. Okay, I think that's actually pretty good. Fighting the nids over in Australia on a daily basis. Sounds about right. I know, right? Yeah, this is Gal, but hey, it did its job to finish your Lamenter's captain. Mate, I think that's why it broke, is because you're painting Lamenters. You've inherited their curse. So, rip your next handle. I think it's going to break. Give him blue turquoise eyes. Yes, that is the plan. That's what our helmet dudes are rocking. That kind of blue turquoise eye look kind of plays into that mysterious, ethereal look as well. And Nevin, I see you. I don't know if that's how I say your name, but that's how I read it, is Nevin, I see you. You're back. Welcome back, my friend. PFS Lubber. What armies do y'all play? You play Tau and World Eaters. Very nice. I don't play any, so I'm sure people in the chat might be able to give you some more responses to that, because I'm mainly a painter here. So, happy with that. What we can do now is pick out some of the other areas. So just looking back on these dudes here, I think what we did with the leather, that's just snakebite leather contrast paint, I believe. So why don't we do that? That's a pretty simple step. Silver Scratch. Hello, my friend. Nevenichu. Nice. Nevenichu. Gotcha. Thank you for clarifying. Yeah, Silver Scratch. This is a custom little army that I'm working on. Not even an army, kill team, I should say. So yes, having a bit of fun doing some weathering on this stream and deciding on a name. Soul of Shania, how are you, my friend? What's happening? You've caught me at a time where I'm not finishing just yet. Good to see you back. Started probably about an hour ago, so I probably won't be going for a crazy lot longer because I do work during the weekdays. But enough to hang around. I'm not extremely tired just yet, so probably stay on at least another 20 minutes or so. Silver Scratch Built Productions. That's cool. You're a professional mini painter. Awesome. I am as well, my friend. How long have you been painting for? I love it. I love painting. So to be able to turn it into a passion, the passion into, be able to sort of get extra hobby money is awesome. Shania over on TikTok is going very well, and they have been painting themselves today. Very nice. What you been painting? Gobbo Show over on YouTube. Not sure if you know about D&D miniatures, but just bought a Tiamat miniature. Totally worth it. I've seen them in the stores. I just haven't ever picked one up. I used to play D&D back in the day with my friends, but I just didn't have the patience. I couldn't play for like 4 or 5 hours. I would get bored, so then I just tell my character to like run in and charge in, and I ended up dying all the time. So I kind of probably ruined the experience. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it, but I had to be in the mood to play. And Soul of Shania has been painting Hive Crone. She's a pastel princess. Very nice. And you love D&D. I think there's a few people that love D&D in the chat here, both over on YouTube and here in TikTok. Mike, it sounds weird to tell you over TikTok, but I'll be hosting a 40k game. About 6 to 8 people if you're interested. Oh, thanks, dude. I don't know when I'll have the time, but I do appreciate the invite. If I'm feeling like a game, I'll hit you up, definitely. But I've got a bloody big backlog of commission painting that I need to get to. We were painting one earlier on stream, but he's just drying, hence why we are painting one of my own minis at the moment. But I do appreciate it because I think you're not too far from me from memory. But yeah, not a massive... I could be swayed into the game. Who knows? Who knows? Smay. Hey, dude. Hey, mate. How are you? Hope you are well. And Soul, you followed me on YouTube as well now. Thank you. Appreciate it. And Silver started painting when you were 12 and never stopped. 56 now. Damn, man, you've got some experience under your belt. I bet I could learn a thing or two. Very nice. I think that's a good thing about this hobby. It's like it literally can be a lifelong hobby. Out of focus. Oh, sorry. Fuck, gotta keep conscious of that. Never need you. Sir Chipius, clearly. Here we go. Hang on, let me try and move my camera a little bit. Oh, Soul of Shania. Look at that. I've got a crown on my head. Thank you for the donations. That is definitely gumdrop button worthy. Thank you very much. And what are these? Finger hearts. Thank you, thank you. A little spam for that. Yeah, he did have a little crown, didn't he? Smay, can I commission you to make me a Doctor Doom figure? Oh, mate, I don't know. I've never painted anything that's not Warhammer related. I mean, I could try. I can only paint though. I'm no good at making things. Definitely not. And Adriana B. Love the details on this guy. Thank you, Adriana. We're having a bit of fun here with weathering. And this is what we're going to end up with, hopefully. These are the results. My twisty boy, this one here. And what we call this guy, I don't know. Christmas wrist. Got Christmas colors on his wrist. This guy here is kind of what we're going to end up with. Take a bit of time, but we'll get there. Smay's asking, how can I find a figure like this, like Doom? Oh, don't know, my friend. Not too sure. Maybe someone else. Where would you even get, like, I'm pretty sure, like, I've seen superhero models printed somewhere, but I have no idea where they're from or who makes them. Kells. Hey lad, checking in. G'day Kells. How are you? Osiris, nice white. Thank you. There's another little thing popped up. Thank you, Solar Shania. Thank you for the gumdrop buttons. Appreciate it. So that leather, I think, if I'm not mistaken, should be finished. I don't know if there's any other leather pouches that we've missed. We will be going in for a second coat, but I want to let it dry properly first. But yes, need to let it dry first. So while that's doing that, we could, oh, no, I did it again. It's the leg straps here. I always miss them. See? I feel like they blend into the armor. We need to paint those as leather as well. Okay. I'm gonna try and make sure he's in focus. Hopefully you can see him nice and well. I actually really quite like painting with this contrast paint for leather. Like, it's just very simple. I used to have to do like 3 different paint colors to try and get a nice leather effect. But I think for like a tabletop standard piece like this does the trick. Like, it's not crazy in its detail, but it's effective. Nebenichu's got to go soon. Good night and have fun. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. I will see you next time. And Tortoise, I don't know if you're going as well, but if you are, see you later too. Thank you for sticking around for so long. Appreciate it. Soul of Shania, where did you get your brushes from? I got my brushes from my local game store. But these ones in particular are Raphael Kalinsky sables. So they're kind of high-end brushes, which means they're relatively expensive compared to the others that are out there. But I feel like the quality is worth paying for. So definitely worth a shot. The ones that I use are a size 0. Oh, he's off screen again. There we go. A size 0 and size 1. These ones here. AK Paints. Thank you for the heart. I appreciate it. And thank you for the gumdrop buttons. These ones here. Raphael Kalinsky sables. Size 0 and 1. I paint most of my models using these 2 brushes. Very worth doing and investing in. Pro Snipe, is this Warhammer? Yes. Simp for golden cheese says yes sir, indeed. Simp is correct. Random clips, what do I do if I sneeze? I hope it's not a wet one and my slobber goes all over the mini. It's never normally an issue. I don't actually think about that. Just put the model down and give a good sneeze. And AK, thank you for the rose. I do appreciate it. Shania got the dry brushes from my local, but haven't found good fine liner brushes. Currently rocking Kmart. Yeah. Kmart, if you're Aussie, and you're looking for stuff online, Gap Games and the Combat Company are good ones to look up, which stock all these types of utensils. Back over on YouTube, Silver. I have a small Space Marine army, Tower Pathfinder unit, heaps of Tyranids, Morty. Start working on them in an hour and I'll paint 10 hours today. Woof. Putting in a shift. Good on you, my friend. That is a lot of painting. You're welcome, Solar Shania. You are welcome. I only have one Tyranid on my desk, and it is one that I didn't paint up. My girlfriend painted it up, and it's the only miniature she's ever painted, and I'll show you it here. She's not into the hobby, but this is the result. I think she did a really good job for her first time. Look at that, look, she's even got little highlights going on here up the top. Recess shaded with purple, and like a disgusting pink skin. Yeah, she did pretty well. She's more into crocheting, knitting, and those types of creative arts. Not the nerdy arts that we degenerates are into over here. Simp for Golden Cheese. Warhammer minis confused you at first, but now realize that they are really easy. Really satisfying for the eyes. They are indeed. Hey, when you just look at them, you just, I don't know. Enjoyment is the word I think of. And Otaku Jake San Aussie Weeb. What a name. Otaku Jake-san Aussie Weeb. Want to see you paint on some of the Gundam miniatures. Keep at it. 9 PM in here in Perth. Time for anime and ramen. Ramyeon? Ramyeon. Very nice. Enjoy. I wish it was 9 o'clock here. It's already like 10 past 11. Getting close to Aaron's bedtime. Good afternoon, Duster. How are you? Adriana B. What's my go-to snacks during a long painting session? I'm a snack goblin. I will eat fucking anything. We've got a bunch of sour worms here. I'm a big fan of sour worms. I love Zappos as well. I have a sweet tooth. Zappos. I'll eat Zappos. I also love a bowl of cereal for dessert, like Crunchy Nut or Nutrigrain or Milo Flakes or whatever the hell you call it. I'll have those. I'll have a Milo itself. Mate, I can keep going here. I'll have Red Rock Deli chips. I'll have some ice cream. I will also maybe have a banana, some blueberries. Hell yeah, don't get me started. Obviously the strawberry flavored Zappos. They are elite and on top. But yes, my girlfriend does need to do more. I don't think she would pick up the paintbrush again anytime soon though. It was a one-off. Ryan, how many backflips do you think a Space Marine could do? More than me, that's for sure. Sour worms and ice cream are the best. Oh, I know, right? They are so good. And Super Dupers. Fuck, I love a good Super Duper. Particularly like on a summer's day. That shit is goated. Do you have the Milos as warm or cold? asked Tortoise. I have them any which way. I do like them cold, but if they're coming warm and you add marshmallows in them, oh, that's a treat. Alrighty, we are getting close here to finishing the leather. And then we can probably slap down a little bit of black. And then I'm probably going to have to call it here. I have to be done by about 11:30, which is only 17 minutes away. And that time will fly. Shania, Solar Shania, bye. I'm about to head to bed as it's past 9 here, but appreciate watching this. I appreciate you for being here and for being such a big supporter. Thank you very much. Have a good night, and I will see you next time, my friend. AK paints, have you painted an Alpha Legion Marine yet? No, I haven't. I need to get around to that. It'll probably be further down the list. I'll get onto it maybe in a couple months' time, I think. I've got a fair bit of commission to do. So after I finish this Dark Angels commission that we're working on, not this guy on screen, but off screen, and the guys have been painting up previously. So Dark Angels, then I go into Black Legion. I've got a lot of Black Legion guys to paint up. I was testing out some skin stuff on this Dreadnought, so we're working on like or Hellbrute. This is part of that commission that we're working on for the Black Legion. And I've got a lot of models to paint there. And then I've got another commission coming in for World Eaters in this style, the white and blue look. So the Slaughterbound box, I think it's called. Yeah, whatever one has the new kind of 8-bound captain dude thing in it. Yeah. Hatok, great job, loving the stream. 2 PM here in the UK, painting some Poxwalkers right now. Oh, very nice. A fellow lover of decay, rot, and all things stanky. Very nice. Chai, hello my friend, how are you? Amoy, what chapter? This dude is an unknown chapter. He's a custom dude that does not have a chapter, so he's on his own. Where in the world am I? I am in Sydney, Australia. Thunder Down Under. The real Gargan. Which color tastes best? And AK has said Null Oil. I said it the other day, I like metallic paints. You know, it's kind of like that popping candy, those metallic flakes, they just give you that extra little bit of kick. So that'd be my go-to. So for the black, what we want to do is we're going to paint his gun in black, of course, just like the other guys, and then all his little tubing, except these ones here. I don't think we painted them up, and oh no, we did. So we will. Ruben, I play Crimson Fist, but if I corrupted into Chaos, I'd have to go with Nurgle. Yes, I think those two. Crimson Fists are a very cool looking chapter for one. I haven't painted one up ever, which is one that I will need to do at some point. Make it my mission to paint at least all first founding chapters, and then maybe like the second founding guys. Some of those guys are really cool. And then some of the other random successor chapters are really cool too. So a lot more Space Marines to paint. But yes, corrupted into Nurgle. He seems like the better choice, even though I know he's still a dark god and all that jazz. But as like a servant, maybe not the worst to be part of. David, thought you sounded from New South Wales. Have you heard of the painter Matthew Murphy Kane? I haven't, no, sorry. I'm not sure. How long have they been painting? Are they like a local to around Sydney or just in New South Wales? TB, do you use a magnifying glass when you paint? Nope, no I don't. I just, I raw dog it with my eyes. I have used glasses in the past because I found my eyes were straining a little bit, just like normal kind of reading glasses, but I don't normally need to use them. Like I feel like I'm just okay going as is. I do own a pair though, because I thought they would help, but I find like they work way too well. Like you just like, I feel like I look through it and I'm like, this is too much. And it almost like makes me motion sick because I gotta like, I can't move my head or anything. Maybe you're just blind. that could be the alternative maybe. There we go. Getting to some of the other nooks and crannies. Nathan, hey mate, how are you? I am well, thank you. Thank you for asking, and how are you, my friend? Thank you for stopping by. Amoy bought a Deathwatch squad, but doesn't know which color is the best to paint them. Well, I feel like that's the beauty of Deathwatch, isn't it? Is that you can kind of paint one of each sort of chapter, whatever one you want. Mainly painting them black, right? And then you're just painting the shoulder pad to whatever legion they belong to. So I feel like you kind of get the best of both worlds there. David, you have a lot of family in New South Wales. He's my brother. Look him up. He's done several classes in Australia, but you're from the UK. Very nice. Cool. I might have to. How long has he been painting for? Good to hear, Nathan. Very good to hear. Bad advice for $1. I remember that name. How are you, mate? Good morning. You started on Imperial Fist this weekend. I love to hear it, mate. Love to hear it. How are they treating you? How are you enjoying painting yellow? Nide. How are you, mate? Good to see you over on YouTube. Slap it on a little bit of there. We're moving pretty fast. If I can get right here in between between his crotch armor plate and his thigh. Are we happy with that? I think that's pretty good. That will do it. His hand, we need to get the little hand rivet thing. Hard to keep it clean, looking a little dirty, your Imperial Fist Marine. Yeah, particularly if you're using washes or anything. Those bright colors can be pesky to kind of have the brightness stick around. Yeah, edge highlighting looks awful. I'm sure it doesn't look awful, mate. But using the side of the brush, but it's way too wide. Might be using too much pressure. Potentially, if it's thick and chunky, yes, you could be using too much pressure, or you're using a brush that's maybe slightly too big for what you're trying to do. So maybe, yeah, maybe try dropping the size down in brush size. Like this one here, just for your reference, if you're looking, look how much paint I've got on that. It just kind of can show you how thick the paintbrush actually is. But I can edge highlight with this brush, and I can also paint eyes with it, because I'm just using different areas of the brush to paint with. So like obviously with edge highlighting, I'd kind of go in the middle and use the side where possible. If I'm using this to paint eyes, you're obviously going further towards the tip and using the tip of the brush. It's not making sure it's sharp when you're doing it. Joshua, White Claws, question mark, I need to return to painting my Salamander's pile of shame. If you're asking what one this is Unknown Dude, Unknown Origin, custom little chapter we've been working on. And Lucas, have you played the new-ish Warhammer game on PS5? I've got Space Marine 2. I play most of my games on PC. PC Elite Master Race over here. But I never ended up finishing the game. I got distracted, started painting again. But it's on my list of things to do. And Henry, I just got my first box of World Eaters. What warband should I paint them? That was a question I was asking myself. If you ask me, I had a good time painting up the original color scheme. Fairly quick and easy to do. Doesn't take that much work, and you get a good result. So that's classic World Eaters, Khorne Berserker. This is Gladiator Cadre color scheme. His backpack is missing, so disregard. But maybe that might be your jam, because the blood effects look really cool on like a white canvas. The other one I thought of doing was, I don't remember the name, so someone might be able to tell me. But I think the lore is that they ended up on some Fat Man Island, like a Fat Man planet, like the planet was a person, and it was a loyalist chapter. They got stranded on it, and then they got stuck there and turned into like these cannibals. Are they like minotaurs maybe? I think that's what they might be called. I thought they were kind of cool. So maybe that is a third option for your World Eaters. Space Marine 2 is peak. The story is fun. How far have you gotten? Oh, dude, I haven't played it in months. I couldn't even tell you how far along I got. I would say it's not that far actually, because a lot of my friends were playing before I got my hands on it, and they had already finished the game, so I ended up just not playing with anyone, playing by myself, and then yeah, just got distracted and moved on to other things. So yeah, I couldn't tell you, sorry. Snevgs? Yo, what's good, man? How did you do the battle damage, brush or hard edge tool? Oh, you missed it. So earlier on, we used this little bit of sponge to dab on the chipping, and we refined it with our paintbrush. And we're adding little chips like that with our paintbrush on top of those dabbed on sponge chipping. AK paints Felgor Ravagers. Is that another warband of World Eaters? Sounds like it. New stuff in the PvE. Yeah, look, I never even got onto the PvE. Like, that's how little I've actually played the game. And now you're making me feel like I need to pick it up and play it again. That's for sure. So let's finish this, because looking at the time now, it is nearly 11:30, so I'm going to have to call it a day soon. So what we'll do is we'll quickly just jam on some paint here on this gun. We will pick out the silver bits maybe next time on stream, and probably continue with the Dark Angels dude that I had. Shown earlier on the stream. And Sneaks, because it's an A upside down, loves the battle damage and does sponge battle damage yourself. Very nice. I may run into you. Definitely. I could if I end up playing the PvE. You might have to go easy on me. Because I'll be an absolute noob at that point. Don Pingo. Dark Angels. Do you mean Forelearned Redacted? Yeah, that is heresy, mate. Don't you finish that sentence. Chrissy Nutnut. What a name. Howdy. How are you, mate? What's been happening? Mike Greaves has a lesson learnt that they would like to share, and that is that today they learnt that black undercoat is a mistake when trying to paint a white Terminator. That sounds like almost poetic. I have a little bit of sympathy for you, but just a little. Silver, sorry, I missed that. Time for you to get out of bed and dressed and ready for painting. Enjoy your 10 hours of hobby painting time today, mate. Best of luck, and hopefully I get to see you next time. Okay. I am fairly happy with this result. We don't need to get the scopes and stuff up the top because we will be painting those silver anyway later on. Just make sure I get all the other little bits here where we want them to be black, like so. And I think we might have to call it there, guys. David, I thank you for that. Keep an eye out on further streams. I appreciate it. If you haven't got enough hobby in your bloodstream yet, I've streamed a few days in the row, actually. There's some stuff on my YouTube channel. And if you're after some YouTube short content, I've made a bunch of those videos in the past. If you want to just, can't get enough of this shit, which is like me, can't get enough of it. But yeah, I do appreciate you all sticking around for so long painting with me. So just to quickly recap where we got to tonight. So we finished off painting a lot of the details on this dude before going into a wash. So we streaking gram washed him, and this is the result after removing said wash from the upper layers, which is looking nice. Mike, this might be a bit of inspo for your Deathwing bone color, if that's what you're after. So this is how we want the model to look now. We can then go in here and do our edge highlights later on. And then eventually we'll end up with something that looks like this after some edge highlighting, a little bit of refinement, kind of the end result we're going for. So that's what we will end up at next time with old mate here. And then for our Mr. Chippy dude, as someone lovingly called him in the chat, we got to here, painted a bit of leather, got the black parts done, and we did a fair bit of chipping. This is kind of where we started with a bit of a blank canvas. So yeah, I think we made a fair bit of progress tonight, even though it was a short little stream. We did a fair bit and had fun. Yeah, Mr. Chippy, woo, indeed. But yes, on that note, guys, thank you for all your kind comments. You are very great to hang out with. I enjoy it. As you can tell, that's why I keep coming on here and doing these little lives. It's good fun. Yeah, hopefully I get to see you guys soon. I will be working all day tomorrow, so may or may not have a chance to stream. If I can, I will hop on for about an hour, probably about the same time, maybe like 9ish, 11, 10 o'clock. Try and do a bit more. Keep painting with you guys, it's good fun. But I also need to paint and do some little shorts as well, because I feel like my TikTok and my shorts feed are a bit lacking. I've kind of just gone all in on the streaming stuff. So yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out, guys. And I will see you next time. Happy hobbying. Adios. Ciao.